Hello, Miss Smith. You and I are meeting together to have a conversation about my experience and my progress during my summer school residency. And I would like to introduce you formally. Miss Chastity Smith is
Hello.
the assistant principal at Decatur Middle School, but she's also served as the summer school principal for our entire district for the middle school grades 6, 7, and 8. And the purpose of our conversation is really to just talk a little bit about the summer school experience and what I've learned during that time. And I wanted to start out by just saying that it really was the perfect way to get exposed in a very short period of time to a wide variety of experience. I think summer school is a microcosm of the regular school year because I was able to see facets of supervision, um, instructional things. I got to see examples of maintenance and operations, supervision, instructional areas, and even the feeding program. We had a lot of experience, hands on experience in the cafeteria. But I did want to talk about a couple of takeaways, some of the things that I felt like were the most valuable, even though I feel like all of it was valuable. But one of the takeaways I noticed from Mrs. Smith's leadership style is I learned the importance of multitasking. And if you wouldn't mind, Miss Smith, just talk a little bit about how you do it and
Okay.
what your process is, and I know you know
Yeah.
it's a valuable thing for you.
Absolutely.
So if you could
Absolutely.
talk to that for just a
hmm
minute.
I guess when I kind of start my work day, I kind of begin with the end in mind, kind of where
Mhm,
do we want to be by the end. Of course, with
mhm,
summer school, our end goal is to make sure the kids are able to process through and
mhm,
be able to finish their coursework and, of course, get the credit to go on to the next grade.
mhm,
So when looking at that, of course, I have to look at a multitude of things. Of course, the teachers that are teaching the courses,
mhm,
are we getting the most bang for our buck when we're looking at how we're getting an instruction to them,
mhm,
and also looking at the accommodations for the students that might need those to be successful.
mhm,
Obviously, in summer school, you do have those kids who are academically, challenged
mhm,
sometimes, and also behaviorally challenged,
mhm,
when it comes down to that. So just making sure we have a good goal for those students to help them still become successful and feel
mhm,
that success.
mhm,
When it comes down to, I guess, multitasking, of course, this year went back to, I guess, serving hot lunch.
mhm,
So we're having to, do that and make sure that we got the food in on time and make sure we're feeding them. And of course, then I have to think about the teachers because we got to keep their morale up, even though, yes, they signed up for summer school. Yes, they chose to
mhm.
teach it. But that's why I thought it was important to make sure on the Thursdays, because that was our Friday,
Yeah.
that we fed them, that we
Mhm,
did, something where we reached out to the community and got the stakeholders involved
mhm,
and got them, trying to, helping pump our teachers up. So
mhm,
that kind of helped with some of that.
mhm, mhm,
Um, Another big thing was, of course, because at the beginning some parents, say they didn't know things like that, but just kind of keeping a calm attitude when you're talking, to people, and
mhm,
just having to work through that. Of course,
mhm,
some people financially cannot afford it,
mhm,
things like that, and just being open and understanding to the needs and
mhm.
making sure, like I said, the main thing is the kids.
Because
So
it was a high stress situation,
absolutely.
particularly at the beginning in the first week when parents are trying to get registered
hmm
and they're worried about the cost involved. They're frustrated because it's not an ideal situation to
Absolutely.
have your child in summer school,
hmm
and so being calm and being able to reassure them that we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we make this process
Right.
as smooth as possible and as
Absolutely.
successful as possible. I think,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that goes into it as well.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. And we
Hmm.
try not to give them, when it comes down to false hope, we just make sure we're there
No,
to support them,
right, right.
throughout whatever it is that they have going on.
Hmm.
Like just a listening ear.
Hmm.
That's very important when you're
Hmm.
communicating too, is just being a great listener and just making sure you're hearing the parent out, you
Well,
know.
talking about communication, that was going to be my second
hmm
takeaway because I feel like one of your strengths is being able to make contact with parents. Not only are you good at handling face to face moments with parents, but I just watched you, you know, I probably watched you make close to 300 phone calls that first week, making contact on the phone with parent after parent after parent, with the goal, of course, was to get their children here because for whatever reason their child was not here yet. And so, could you talk to me about the importance of parent contact?
Oh yeah. So I think the conversation is going to be, huge when it comes down to talking to parents. Like I said, it has a lot to do with being empathetic to the things that they do have going on. Of course, we have transportation issues, of course, financial issues, things like that. But just being, like I said, there again, just that listening ear. First and foremost, you have to hear them. No matter what, because sometimes that's their baby, or even though that's ours, once they get here, it's theirs. And sometimes you have them, they're kind of mimicking things that happened when they were in school.
Right.
So sometimes that if they had a bad school experience, it wasn't your fault, but you might have to take some of that on when you're talking to them. So just being open and understanding to that, and just what their needs are. Everybody's experience is not the same.
Right.
So
right.
just kind of, like I said, just being open to that, listening to what they're having to say, and just being solution oriented when it comes down to trying to help problem solve, and doing, like I said, there again, still doing what's best for the child at the end of the day. That's what it boils down to.
Well, I have learned so much from you, and I'm really going to miss you. I've enjoyed our time together, and
It's been fun.
I just feel like this has been the best experience that I could have ever had, and I don't think I could have had a better mentor. And so I just wanted to thank you for that, and I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It was great to have you, Miss Donna.